John Wayne B.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, look. Too hot to hate us, no they can't fade us. Headed to the top, just stay tuned for the latest. Soon as the episode drop, they gotta play us. All I know is we got the flavor.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Los LOS from the Flava Podcast. You are listening and watching the Flava Podcast. What's up, Liz? How you doing?
Hello. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. I got a chance this Sunday to actually go to church.
What?
I did.
Because you missed last week,
I
didn't
missed
you?
last week because I was here. We had three? We were supposed to have three interviews.
Yeah, and then we had two. But yeah, you were here.
Today only two, so I got a chance to get here.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
How'd it go? How was it?
Church was good. Church was good. Yeah.
I love it. I attend online church, guys. I do virtual church.
Hey, streaming, as long as you get the word, whether it's watching a stream, whether it's reading a book, as long as you get the word inside you, not just on a Sunday, but every day.
Every day.
That's what we need.
Amen.
Amen to that.
Yes.
So how's your week been?
It's been a good week. Busy. Summer is around the corner, literally. So I'm just trying to get my schedules ready because I have a lot of things coming up.
What's going on this summer for you?
Birthday in 7 days.
Birthday in 7 days. Okay.
Turning 34. Holy crap, it sounds crazy to say it. 34. Wow. I'm turning 34. I feel old. I feel like
Camera
I'm
on me.
54.
51. Camera on her? 34.
34. Can't really tell the difference,
34
right?
is great. It's a great age.
I'm learning to like really appreciate it. Had this been me 2 years ago, I would have been like, oh, I'm turning 30. No, I'm really loving. I'm level 34, so.
Level 34.
Yeah, I don't call it, I'm 34 years old. No, I'm at level 34, you guys.
So you're planning to go some trips or something?
No, not planning anything. Okay. I am more of a whatever comes, let's get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like to plan because when you plan, it doesn't come out how you want it.
No, yeah.
So I don't plan it. I'm
a dinner or something?
Probably a dinner.
Because me and Alex got no invitation for no dinner for no birthday.
Well, it's all good. I don't want to be out with y'all on my birthday anyway. I want to be in a lit mood.
I thought we all loved each other here at the Flava Podcast studio, but
no, I would. No, Greg actually said we're gonna do something for my birthday.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
See, I knew that one was coming. No, but actually, I'm gonna be gone the week after my birthday because my birthday falls on the same week that my nephew's birthday.
Okay.
So 13th, I think that's your wife's birthday as well.
Yeah, the 13th.
June 13th. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to, stick around for my nephew, and then I'll disappear. Word. I'll be gone.
Okay.
Yeah. A little lake house, little cabin or something.
That sounds nice. That sounds real nice.
I always do that. I started doing it when I turned 30.
Yeah.
I started taking solo trips.
Okay.
2 to 5 days.
I love solo trips.
Yes. And
that's why I go to Spain a lot.
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny because people look down on that.
Why?
Because you're not supposed to travel by yourself when you're married, apparently.
No, you can't. Just you by yourself. That? You still need your me time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And I made it a tradition to leave for my birthday.
Word.
Yeah. So I've been gone for my birthday. Like I'm not around family. I'm not around anyone on my birthday.
Okay.
I'm just by myself or my dog. And I love it.
You in nature.
I'm in nature with the trees, with the water. So I get these little cabins by the water. So I love it.
So you take off your shoes and walk in the grass and feel the earth and hug some trees.
And I hug trees. Last year I was in California. I was in Yosemite with my best friend Rivka.
Okay.
She has property out there in the mountains, and she has like little guest houses, like just like all in her property. Yeah, so beautiful. So I was able to do that, and now this year I'm just gonna get a little cabin, by the lake, and
let's go.
One of my best friends, Pam, she's letting me stay there.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's what's this called? This economy got me so choked up. Can't afford that.
Yeah.
Them eggs, bro.
I was gonna buy some food today, but couldn't do that because I looked at the Flava Podcast bank account and I was like, ooh,
dang. I don't know if I could do it.
So for people watching right now, do me a favor.
Hit subscribe.
We're
hungry.
Subscribe.
We're hungry.
Look at her. She's falling to pieces. We it's easy. Look at, we got a bunch of subscribers, and thank you for all the subscribers. Thank you so much. But we know we have we check out analytics.
Yeah.
And there's thousands of people watching.
Yeah. But they don't hit
subscribe. Don't be a stalker. Just press that subscribe button.
Please.
Just hit it.
Get me paid, guys.
Yes, get her paid. Because she be driving like 3 hours just to get here.
I really do, guys. I really do. But I'm a foodie. I'll be happy with food, so it's okay.
Awesome.
I'm cheap.
So, Liz, what's your hot topic?
You know, I before we started, I said I didn't have one.
I know, but we still got to say it.
We still ready?
Ready? One, two, three.
Hot
topics. So this hot topic is that she has no hot topic.
I have no hot topic, you guys. I was driving and my guy who has my hot topics is not here, and he usually has a list of hot topics for me. And I'm like, oh yeah, I like that, because my brain. I've told you this. We've talked about the trains. And they derail.
Well, there's the hot topic right there. Your trains be derailing.
Derailing. Mental health, guys. Take care of your mental health. You know?
There we go.
Yes.
That's a hot topic right there.
Yeah. Well, and we did end the mental health month, I guess you can say.
Yep.
So definitely take care of your mental health, you guys. And don't get like frustrated. I get frustrated when I can't think straight, and I'm like too hard on myself.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, Liz, you got to get your life together.
Yeah.
You know, like today I have my laptop. Why isn't my laptop in front of me? Because I forgot. And I can have my laptop and just search up some stuff. And, you know, but yeah, hot topic is take care of your mental health days, you guys, and use your PTOs, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
See a therapist, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Talk to somebody, you know. You're going through something, talk to somebody. See a therapist. Don't just try to handle it on your own. Of course, handle it with God if you're a believer or your God. But try to handle it with somebody. There are people out there to help out. So jump on that.
Yeah. Because what I notice is that we just get stuck on in our thoughts, and we can't find a way out. Yeah. When there's ways out, like literally for everything, we just have to hear it from a different perspective. And when you grow up with, like me, I have severe anxiety, I have BPD, I have OCD, like I have all these DDDs, right? And when I'm trying to like focus on things, it's like so hard. And I don't take medication. I don't do none of that medication stuff.
I don't know about all that.
I mean, I do other stuff to help you focus. But yes, guys, take care of your mental health and see a therapist if needed.
Yes, most definitely. My hot topic is my hot topic from last week, because I got to correct something. Oh. So I said last week that the Chicago Podcast Summit will be on October 11th. Lied. No, I just, I didn't. The wrong day. I had the wrong day. I didn't clarify the day. It's actually November 22nd, the Chicago Podcast Summit at the Chicago Theater Works, brought to you by, sponsored by right now. We need some more sponsors if you want to sponsor that. But sponsor right now for David in Cuba, my girl Anna, she will be sponsoring. There will be food there. It'll be delicious.
It's going to be mouth-watering.
Yes.
I can already picture. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. I'm already picturing her pastelitos and all that.
Yes. Yeah. So this year, Chicago Podcast Summit, yes, we're going to be bringing the podcasters with the business people. We're going to bring them together. But at the same time, we're doing awards. So the best podcasters when it comes to lighting, when it comes to dropping the mic, same thing with business. We're going to be doing the same thing with business. There's going to be performances going on that day as well. Yes. I'm making a big thing. We're gonna do something big this year exciting. For the second annual Chicago Podcast Awards.
Yeah. So we have to dress nice.
You have to dress nice. Or hip hop. Okay. So it's a hip hop classy theme. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. It's exciting. I'm so excited.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully I'm not on the other side, deported and whatnot.
She will not be deported. We will keep her here. And if she is deported, we'll do some kind of via satellite thing we're going on.
She's on Zoom. Y'all know why.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring up our guest, but watch this commercial. Thank you.
Let's go.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Los LOS from the Flava Podcast. Yo, I want to talk to you about Exact Services. These are handyman that came to my rental apartment and they gave it a whole makeover. They painted, they patched up the holes in the walls, they fixed a faucet, they did the floors, they even put new screens on my windows. Y'all got to call these guys at 312-860-4225, 312-860-4225, and remember, you have flavor.
And we are back here at Flava Podcast Network with our amazing guests, and we're going to hear an amazing story of friendship. And with us is Hilda Frontany with her friend Roberto Torres. Hello.
Gracias por la invitación.
Thank you for
for this
being here.
invitation.
Thank you for being here,
Thank you
both
for having
of
us.
you. Yes, I'm really excited to hear this story.
This is awesome. This is awesome. You actually said Robert's name in Spanish.
I did.
Which is the correct way to say it. It is Roberto.
Roberto.
Okay.
Roberto Torres.
You had to roll the R?
Yes. Pa
You
que
have it.
respeten.
Yes, exactly. So you got to put respect on his name.
Hilda, you got to roll the R's in your name as well, right?
Yes.
How do you roll it again?
Hilda Frontany.
Chacho.
Frontany.
Chacho. She did.
You got to roll that R.
So, Hilda, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you, Rob, for being here as well. You have an amazing story. You have an amazing history and an amazing journey that I think people would love to hear. Once Rob told me about you, I was like, I need her on the podcast because I need her voice
Yes.
to go out
Thank you.
into the world.
Yes.
So I thank you for spending some time with us. And, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're with us right now.
Yes.
Yes.
So thank you for being here.
Thank you for the invitation.
We're very, very honored.
Yes.
Hilda, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do right now?
Right now, I am a volunteer with Rincon Family Services. I'm the chair emeritus of the board of directors.
Okay.
When my term was over, they said, we can't let you go. So they came up with a title, Chair Emeritus. And I had to ask the title, what does that mean, Chair Emeritus?
I would like to know
Yeah,
myself.
what is that?
And so one of the board members said, you can't die. So I guess I can't die.
can't
and this
die,
is why I'm
Hilda?
waiting to celebrate my 82nd birthday.
82nd
82nd birthday.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
And you have that energy, girl. You 82.
Thank you.
And
I
you
can
just
still dance.
Okay. I love that. We're going to have to hit the dance
So
floor.
what are we dancing? Are we doing merengue, salsa, bachata?
No, I like the merengue better.
Merengue, okay.
Merengue.
Okay.
I
I
could
like
dance
to
some
be
merengue.
hold once in a while.
Mira eso. I'm loving this. So, prior to this position you have now, what did you do before?
Before that, this position is a volunteer thing that I've been doing for years and years. But prior to that, I was my last job where I retired at age 70 with the Illinois Department of Human Services.
Oh, my
Okay.
gosh.
That's when the offices of Illinois Department of Human Services used to have about 120 offices throughout the state of Illinois.
Okay.
And so I was one of the people that would travel all over the state to make certain that we had bilingual services, that we
Oh,
had
my gosh.
enough people on staff
Yes.
that could provide language services. So everything was out of language access.
That's awesome. That's amazing. I
So
love
important for the community, especially with that in that field, because
Yes.
when migrants, they come here and they look for help and they have nowhere to go, and you made sure that they had access to that. That's so amazing.
Well,
Hilda.
people knew where to go get help, but I didn't know how to get to many of those places because in those days we didn't have the GPS. So we had to make copies of where we were
maps.
going and then try to read maps on the road. I ended up at many farms, not knowing where I'm going.
So you got lost a lot.
That's amazing. I'm loving this. I'm already loving this. So, where does this come from? This love you have for people and giving back?
It comes from the fact that I had a very, very giving mother.
Okay.
And a father that supported my mother's work. And so my mother was very involved in the church world
Okay.
to make changes.
Yes.
I mean, she was a radical from within the inside, and she began to do services for people who were newcomers back into the city of Chicago, just coming in from Puerto Rico, Mexico, and other places.
Yeah.
And so she helped them to accumulate and to get to know the city where they can go get services, etc.
Oh, my
Even
gosh.
though she didn't speak much English at all, she always found an interpreter or somebody to go and help that family. Sometimes I was the interpreter.
Okay, that's where it kind of grew, huh? You were the interpreter.
So I want to get a little bit inside your life, right? But we're gonna want to do this or that now.
I mean, we could do this. Or
Yeah,
that.
let's do this or that. So we can do this or that. So this is the game.
Okay.
Okay, what we were talking about earlier. You're gonna choose this, whatever I say, or that, whatever I say. It could be really silly. It could be serious. It could be sad. We don't know where we're gonna go. Whatever Liz goes to, because sometimes she goes a little berserk.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Okay.
It's just how I feel today. We'll see what's it. Let's see what's out of my mouth.
So the first one's real simple. Tom or Jerry, the cat or the mouse?
I think it's the cat.
Why?
Because the cat was always nimble and quick and wanted to go everywhere fast.
Yeah, it's right from Jerry.
Okay. You got one?
I do. Coffee or tea?
Coffee, I'm always on a natural high.
That natural high, baby. I love it.
All right. Batman or Superman?
Superman,
Why?
I like to fly like the eagles.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
Why is that?
Because in summer I get to see people as they are, not with all that clothing and everything, you
Without
know?
the layers.
Yes, and enjoying the things that the city offers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Arroz blanco o arroz con habichuela?
Oh, arroz, habichuela. Porque yo soy una mezcla.
I love it. Yes. If you could take a vacation, would you rather vacation in Mexico or Cuba?
I think I want to go to Cuba.
Yeah?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Because in Cuba, I see a lot of pictures
Yeah.
of the women that are there rolling the cigars and everything.
cigars.
And I thought that was interesting to learn how to roll the cigar and maybe have a cigar in my mouth.
I could definitely picture you taking a little vacation just to go learn how to roll a cigar.
So here goes another one. Chicago Cubs or the Chicago Sox?
You know what? The Sox are getting so much attention because of the new Pope.
Yes.
I'm going to go with the Cubs.
Okay. All right.
Can I bring
I
that
love
attention
that.
to them?
You definitely
Thank
can.
you.
They need a little more love.
Going?
No, my mind went blank.
You're out. Should we go to the main question?
We should the more serious
Am I
question.
a virgin?
No.
Wait.
No, you missed one.
Okay. All right.
didn't go there.
Threw me off already. Threw me off.
We missed.
We're going to go to the second one.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, Linda Carter, or Supergirl?
I think I'm going to go with Wonder Woman.
Why?
Wonder Woman has the outfit that I admire the most. Very colorful and everything else.
Yeah.
And I used to wear one for Halloween.
Okay. All right.
How old are you? Do you remember how old you were?
Pardon me?
How old were you when you were when you
This
wore
was
it?
last Halloween she's talking about.
Did you wear this last Halloween?
I wore it. It must have been about 11 years. I think.
11 years?
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah, I got it at a fantasy headquarters.
Okay. I love it. Do you have a picture?
No, but I can produce.
So now this is the most important question. Chicago pizza or New York pizza?
Oh no, the Chicago pizza. The Chicago pizza. Many friends of mine that used to travel back and forth,
Yeah.
they still sometimes say, "Can you bring a pizza from Chicago?"
Oh, somebody. Yeah,
Look
that's what I'm
at
talking
that.
about. What pizza exactly? Do you know a place you go to?
Right now, I go to the one that's on Irving Park.
What's it called?
The Chicago Pizzeria.
That's what it's called?
Yeah.
Chicago.
Chicago
Oh,
Pizzeria.
it is Chicago Pizza.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's by Chicago. I'm sorry, it's on Irving Park.
Irving Park, west
By
of
Cicero.
Yeah.
Close to Cicero. Yeah, it's called
yeah.
Chicago Pizza. I used to eat there.
Yeah,
I used to eat
yeah.
there. But my favorite pizza place, people, come around me,
yeah,
is
okay.
Pequod's.
There you go.
This commercial is brought to you by Pequod's. It's not, but Pequod's, you need to pay me already. Please pay me already, Pequod's.
Pay this man,
Okay.
Lord, please.
I
pay
love you
this
guys.
man.
I'm actually going to take her later on so she can have some real pizza because she's still eating at Nati's.
I haven't had it in a while, you guys. Okay, I haven't gone. I don't have my bulletproof vest, so I can't go get me a slice.
Nati's is in the hood, like in a real bad hood.
I'm
Yeah.
a South Sider. I'm a South Sider.
Southside
Yeah.
pizza. They got good pizza.
They do.
I give it up to them because if it's a bad area and they're still open and people are still going to that place,
Yeah.
that pizza has to be
It has to
amazing.
be good. It
Gotta
is
be
good.
great.
It's good. It's delicious.
Worth losing your life.
Your life on the size of pizza.
Hey, there's tacos and pizza that they're worth risking it. You just
And if
stay.
you can't afford to one of those places, then you go to Jewel and pick one up.
Oh
Jewel. I've done that.
Oh no.
So Pequod's, send me my money, and not these. I talk smack about you guys, but at the same time, you're getting publicity, so you owe me money too. Okay, a lot of money. All right. So this is your boy Los. We're gonna go commercial break.
Yes.
Talk to you in a minute.
Be back.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Los from the Flava Podcast. Did you know that a research study, Rashi, has been shown to have anti-cancer properties, anti-tumor effects? It helps detox the body and regulates the immune system. Whether your immune system needs to be controlled or boosted, Gano can help you there. And natural coffee that changes people's lives. Get your daily dose of 150 antioxidants in 1 cup while enjoying the flavor of this beautiful coffee. Natural coffee never tasted this good. What's up, it's your boy, and we are back. You are watching and listening to the Flava Podcast. And today we have a special guest. Her name is Hilda Frontany. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Come on, somebody. Come on. And we also got on the table with her, a good friend of hers, Robert Torres.
How you doing? How you doing?
So I want to talk a little bit about this friendship that you guys have here. When did you guys meet each other?
Well, I met Hilda, right? Through Rincon Family Services. But it was funny because so many people that I knew were so connected to her in the community. And so as I started to dig in on Hilda, just the history, the power behind her, just this humble woman that for me it just bleeds community, right? And amplifies the Puerto Rican community culture. Just really drew me close to her. So it all started at Rincon Family Services, right? But I think furthermore, just the connections. And every time I went to the registry, who did I run into? Run into Hilda, right? So I'll have to say we need to get a picture, a mural of Hilda on the registry.
Let's go. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Let's do
yeah.
I
that.
definitely see that. I could see that.
So
for
I
sure.
guess it was more of an organic relationship, and I am a big fan of what she does and what she stands for. So she's a powerhouse, and I'm always admired of what she does
Yeah.
to continue to push the efforts in our community to bring change. And
Yes.
so it's always a pleasure to be around Hilda.
And then I went to a festival that was for a youth event. And then I said, I need to find Roberto because I want to see who he's working with. And then I found out that there was a whole host of individuals that you were working with.
Look at
And
that.
then I fell in love with him. He was with a group that was Parents for Peace and Justice.
Yes.
And this group was out there making sure that the families that have lost family members, mostly children, to gun violence, were there at that festival. And so he took me around introducing me to some of the celebrities too that were there, like the NFL people, etc.
Wow.
Yes.
And so there was a new new journey that I embarked on through him.
That's all God working to get
And
the right
that's
people.
how the marriage was born.
We haven't had any children yet.
Do you
But
see?
I won't
Do you
name
see
him Carlos.
Do you see any children in the future?
You never know.
That's children for you, right?
I love this. So, Hilda, can we take you back in time?
Yes.
Where were you born?
I was born in Arecibo, Puerto Rico.
Ooh.
And Arecibo is the northern coast of Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And that's where Cornell University built their very first radar unit,
Okay.
which recently sunk, you know.
No, did not know that.
Yeah. And so that's the town where I was born at. Then my parents, my father especially, decided that they were going to migrate to Chicago. And then later on, my mom and my 3 brothers migrated to Chicago.
What year was this?
Oh my God, this is 1952.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it was around September of 52.
So when you migrated to Chicago, what part of the city did you go to?
When we came, we ended up at 4 West Ontario, all around where Chicago and State Street, you know?
Yes.
That was the area. There was a Bowman company, milk company there, ice company there and everything. It was mostly Italians in that neighborhood. So that's where we ended up. My father ended up working at Holy Name Cathedral.
Okay.
And my mom then later on ended up working with Mandalain.
Okay.
That's where we got this upbringing of the church.
Yes, the
Okay.
church.
Awesome. So from State Street, where else did you move to?
After being everything changed for the Puerto Rican community that had gone and lived on State Street and Chicago Avenue, including Michael Kendo and his whole family.
Oh, nice.
wow.
Yeah.
That's where we all began.
Yeah.
We were at Holy Name Cathedral. We used to go to have a church service, but we were not allowed in the sanctuary upstairs, only in the basement. So then my family decided, and other families, that they were going to move north. And so they ended up going north to Orleans and north of Division. And then we ended up moving further where Waller High School ended up after. And then after that, we ended up going to Lakeview.
Yes.
And so I ended up working and living and purchasing in the Lakeview community.
Right.
And now I live in Portage Park.
Okay.
Down the street, not
Down
too
the
far.
street.
But everybody thinks that I am the mayor of Humboldt Park because they see me there so often.
I don't think they think that. I think they know that.
Yeah,
That's a no.
Definitely, you're known there.
You're
for
known
sure.
for being there. Yes. So that was your life there. So, wow, 50s. I want to get into the 70s. What was going on with you in 1970?
In 1970, I believe that we were already beginning build coalitions. So there were many organizations that had just given birth
Okay.
through all the work that we had been doing from the 60s on. And so we created organizations like the Lakeview Latin American Coalition, ABC, Allies for a Better Community, PROPA, Puerto Rican Organization for Political Action, and so on. Many of those organizations either committed suicide or some are still in existence. And the ones that are still in existence are like the Puerto Rican Cultural Center, thank God. You have organizations like Ruiz Valvis,
Yeah.
Cultural Center also. Then you have Rincon Family Services. We just celebrated 52nd year.
Awesome.
Then you have Haas. When we first created Haas, it was Hispano Alcoholic Services. Now it renamed itself as Healthcare Alternative Systems, and they just celebrated 50th anniversary.
Wow.
And so we're so, fortunate to have those organizations in existence, helping the community as the community grows. And I'm so glad that the community has embraced them.
Yeah.
By supporting them financially too, Some people think, no, Latinos don't. No,
Yeah, they
Latinos
do.
do support.
Yeah, they definitely do.
That's great. I skipped a part. And the part was you came in the 1950s. Who were you in the 60s? What girl? Where were you? Who were you? How did you act? Were you climbing trees?
No, I was not sharing those climbing for those squirrels. Most of the boys did do that.
But you have brothers too, right?
Pardon me?
You have siblings, right?
Let's see, in '63, that's when I got married.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I had my firstborn. And then I was looking for services for children that, like the ones that I was raising, that would go to something that was different. And so for my children, I was lucky enough to get the Jewish community to open the doors for some Latino children to be able to go to their mosque and have daycare there. And so that opened up a new world for me when we began organizing, that there are partners out there
Yes.
that we could look for and begin the sharing process, because we kept everything just among
To
us, the
yourselves.
Boricuas,
Yeah.
us, the Boricuas, and us, the Boricuas, were just the Caballeros de San Juan. Yeah. So the Caballeros de San Juan, they would have a council in almost every community, and then we would go to them for services. The Commonwealth of Puerto Rico had services, but there were people that were not just Puerto Rican. They were coming in from other countries, and that's where then we begin to open the doors for individuals. Like by 1974, that's when Haas, this man, Antonio Garcia, Mexican, knocked on the doors of the organization that I was in the late 60s, and he said, we don't have any services for Latino alcoholics. And so he came to the table with Fernando Prieto, Colombia, Mario Moya, Chile, and then he had Julio Montoya, El Salvador. Then we had Hector Guzman, Puerto Rico, and I was the only Puerto Rican Boricua, and we became the founders.
Wow.
And it's in existence now.
That's so amazing. So powerful. I wonder how many lives you guys changed.
Yeah. So, one of the things that my mom always said, donde come uno, comen todos.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And I never understood what that meant until she put me through the process of feeding the people that she was feeding because they were newcomers and they didn't have anything. Even when the Vietnamese were coming in, my mother was at the table with them and bringing us along.
That's amazing. So you were around during the 70s riots on Division Street.
Yes.
What did that look like for you through your eyes?
Well, I was not around there when people like Carlos Flores, Carmen Flores, and others were involved with the changes that had to take place in terms of gathering services after the riots. it was about 3 years after that, then we began to do that type of work that we kept saying to the politicians, you know, this has happened not because of our own doing. It is because you have ignored our concerns. You have ignored our needs.
Yeah.
For the people that don't know, what were those needs?
Number one, there were on Division Street, or the whole community known as Humboldt Park. That's when there was a lot of investors coming in, and people, you know, were losing their homes to an a business called, well, we renamed it Sleazy Life, but it was known as Easy Life, Sleazy Life. And so we looked at what they were doing.
Yeah.
Then we were looking at the whole thing that many of the individuals that owned, many of the individuals that owned buildings, they were renting to our community, but they were criminal housing mismanagement landlords.
Yeah.
And so again, you had to go and get help so that those tenants did not have to live in those conditions. Okay? And so there were a lot of tenant organizing that took place in Division Street.
What were the tenants complaining about?
Well, there were, number one, there were electrical deficiencies. There were many of them that they could not get running water, even to flush their toilets.
Wow.
Those conditions. But the most of it was the whole thing with pets that were not invited, like rats everywhere, you know?
You said rats and rats and rats. Okay, lots of rats.
Lots of rats.
A lot of rat infestation.
And, you know, so some of the organizations began to look at those conditions, and not only that, then they started looking at home ownership.
Yeah.
Teaching people how to own their home.
Yes.
Okay, and today, that's why you see those signs. Humboldt Park no se vende.
I have a T-shirt.
You've seen those signs.
I have a T-shirt, yeah.
You have the T-shirt, okay? And that continues from back then. Humboldt Park no se vende.
Yeah. Because they're still trying to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To this day.
To this day.
And this is why it was so important for the community to get out there and learn the process of registering to vote and voting.
Yes.
Because we needed to have our own leadership that understood what we needed and what we wanted.
Yes.
Okay? And that it wasn't that we needed to have they would shove everything down our throat. No.
Yeah.
No, that we were at the table making decisions with them.
Exactly.
And that's how now if you look at the 26th Ward Alderwoman, the first thing that she did was create a committee on zoning. And it's a zoning committee made up of Latinos and younger people.
Who is this alder
I
person?
love that.
Pardon me?
Who is this alder person?
This older person is Jesse Fuentes.
Hey, shouts out to Jesse. Shouts out to Jesse.
I mean, I took my hat off to that right away.
Yeah.
That was the first thing she did. I am doing a zoning committee made up of young people to make the decision about who's going to come here to purchase or develop or do anything.
That's so powerful. She gave power to the people, basically.
That's correct.
Jesse is a friend of the podcast. She's been on the podcast before. She actually was my second guest on the podcast.
Yeah, it was.
Well, she was one of the ones that showed up about 2 weeks ago when we did 2 Sundays ago when we did the tribute to Jose Sacha Jimenez.
Yes.
And she was there to greet the general public and to hug the families that were there, especially Chacha Jimenez's sister Daisy and the daughters. Yeah.
So speaking of Chacha, you have some history with Chacha back in the day.
Back in the day, yes. when I was an organizer with the Lakeview Latin American Coalition, we decided that we were going to run an alderman in the 31st Ward, and Chacha was running for alderman in the 43rd Ward.
Okay.
He was the youngest and challenging the youngest alderman that the Democratic Party had back then, and so we were running campaigns in different areas of the city, but there were a lot of cooperation between our organizations. Okay, when Chacha Jimenez decided that they were going to do the takeover at DePaul University, etc. My mom was one of the people that, and Carmen Flores Renz from United Church of Christ.
Okay.
They were out there cooking and bringing the food to those who were inside, holding down the fort.
Lots of history there. A lot of history there.
Yeah. Because I, at that time, I was living at 929 West Wolfram, which right there on Sheffield and Diversity, and DePaul University was
It's on
across.
the other side.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And so he was running the organization. I was running the organization, the Lakeview Latin American Coalition. One of the things that he did was he did an interview when he recently went to the university. He said, I want to make sure that the history of our organization is archived.
Yeah.
And so he made it his business to go in, interview all sorts of Latinos, especially Puerto Ricanos, in the community. And right now, people can go and look through those archives to find out who's who.
Who's who in the organization?
Yes,
That's so cool.
It takes me back because I read the book, The Young Lords,
yes.
and it speaks about him and other individuals in that book. So having a person sit in front of me that lived during that time and was around the Young Lords it's amazing to me. Yeah. And can you share something about the Young Lords that was positive? Because people look back and they could talk about the Young Lords about being negative, but in reality, they were just trying to live in the neighborhood without being harassed, without getting having some food and for their families or whatnot. Can you tell us some positive history about the Young Lords?
They position themselves as an organization, but people begin putting them as the label, they're a gang. And so then that was the struggle that the organization had to have, to change the label from gang to club to organization. And so when they began doing that, that was great because they were able to run a health clinic. They were able to run the pantry, which Carmen Flores Renz was part of.
Yeah.
They were able to do the voter registration and education seminars and workshops that they were doing. They were going door to door to find out what other needs the community had. So that began to change that type of an image,
Yeah.
So when they saw people coming with the purple beret or the purple, people then had to change their mind, about that type of uniform, because people back then just, what's your color? What's your color, right?
Yeah.
What you all about?
What you be about?
What you be about?
What you reppin'.
So now I wear my purple whenever I go to certain. I'm about royalty.
Let's go.
I'm about royalty.
Yeah.
That's what the color purple stands for. And so the Young Lords have a beautiful history, and there's individuals like Omar Lopez trying to keep the history going, a living history through him, and they begin now something new. And that I'm proud of, and it's called the New Era Young Lords. And the New Era Young Lords still wear the same uniform, kind
You
of.
still wearing the beret?
The beret, yeah.
Okay.
We all have the same buttons, but they just began by beginning to recruit more individuals about talking about the principles of service.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because there's such a thing.
Yeah.
If you are a believer, then you have to do it through action. And their first action was to begin a tiendita on North Avenue. And so people can go there and donate because there's so many people that are new coming to the city and have nothing. Have nothing. And so they were asking for donations of furniture, clothing, whatever you can give there.
Yeah.
And it's the new era. And so they are going to be doing a lot of other new things.
Gosh.
And I am so proud of them.
Yeah. I think the community is proud of them. Yeah. You know, they're the ones that they're helping out.
Yes.
Because we can no longer depend on the government, unfortunately. Have to depend on ourselves, you know, depend on the community.
And I think that's what makes Hilda so unique, that once she sees a need, she just goes into action.
Yeah.
Just doesn't stay still. And as a Puerto Rican, right, that we all bleed, right, our culture from our family, right, that we see that we have a Hilda in a community, in the Puerto Rican community, still fighting, still standing proud, and still organizing and making sure she could be part of the difference.
Well, one of the things that should make many people tick
Yeah.
is that I hear this, so-and-so is the first Puerto Rican to have this position. So-and-so is the very first Mexican to have this position. It shouldn't be the first,
Exactly.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be the last either.
And we should not be the last. Recently, I started doing some of the speeches that I give there, and I say, if you're not at the table, you're going to be on the menu.
Ooh,
Okay?
that's powerful.
Yes.
That is
If you're
very
not
powerful.
at the table making the decisions, you're going to be on the menu. And so I don't want to have to continue introducing people as, the first this, the first that.
Yeah.
It should be natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so true, Hilda.
So a little bit about yourself, a little bit more about yourself. How many children?
I have 6 children, but I have about 11 hijos putativos. That's what I call them.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. That's a funny one. I never heard that one.
I do introduce them as my hijos putativos.
Please go into detail about
And in my
putativos.
directory, I put hijo putativo. If my kids go to my phone, they will know who their hijos putativos brothers and sisters are at.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, so they're kind of adoptive,
Okay.
okay?
Okay, that's
And so I
hilarious.
have my own 6 and the other hijos putativos. And then I have 19 grandkids.
Wow.
And on June 11th, I will have
Your first.
10 great grandkids.
You have great grandkids?
10 great grandkids.
That is so amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. A big family.
I'm going bankrupt.
You're going to be very good taken care of.
And what makes this so more impressive is that she still finds the time to give back to the community, which is mind-blowing to me.
It's crazy. 6 kids and you still had time to do everything
That's what
that
I'm
you
thinking about.
did.
Because my 6 children
Yeah.
are the most supportive children you could ever find.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have one child, his name is Alex, and he is director of security.
Okay.
I can say where?
Yeah.
Okay. He is the director of security at the United Center.
Awesome.
Anything that I need,
You got
he
it.
says, Mom, you got it.
Oh,
I have a daughter who owns an Airbnb,
okay.
and she also owns the house where Dungeons and Dragons was created
Okay.
No
in
way.
Wisconsin.
Wow.
And I say, such and such an organization, can you help out with the silent auction? She's there for me.
Let's go.
I have one that Yvette that owns her own shop.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I say, I have this organization, and they're all unwed mothers, and they're getting ready to have a haircut or something because they want to go for the very first job interview, there's my daughter for me.
Oh, my gosh.
And then the one that's not here, it's up here in my heart, she is in Florida, and she's a teacher and a coach.
Okay.
But she's a teacher with children that are special education.
Oh,
And so
they all have your heart.
they're, yes.
They all have your heart.
Yes.
All of them.
Yes.
Oh, I love
It's a
that.
family. It's a family of giving.
A lot
Yes.
of giving.
If you see the history,
And it started with
Yeah.
your mom.
start with your mom and your father.
Yeah, and they all have their own skillful sets
Yes.
and their own, way of being. And they have done things to me that I have recently.
Yeah.
I went to my daughter Yolanda's house, and my grandson was there. And my grandson, Richie, is the one that always looks at my phone and says, let me update it for you. Let me update it for you. He's my little guru. And so that day he asked me, can I have your phone? And I gave it to him willingly, thinking he was going to do an
Update
update.
it.
And all of a sudden I hear this giggling in the background.
Oh, no.
They put the 360 on me.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
They didn't tell you?
They didn't tell me they were giggling.
What?
So here I am down at the Museum of Illusions, and I get a
No.
phone call. What are you doing there, Mom?
And you're probably like, how do you know where I am?
Yeah.
That is, that they could listen to your conversations too, right?
No, I didn't know that.
They can just drop in on your phone and they can just listen to your conversations. Like right now,
So they're hearing our conversation right
they
now.
could definitely hear your conversation right
Okay,
now.
so I asked my girlfriend, Sonia.
Yeah.
I said, Sonia, can you do me a favor?
You took it off?
No. She says, what's the favor? Can you please drive me to the police station on Milwaukee Avenue? She goes, why? I want my kids to believe that I got arrested.
I can't. Was
I
it,
did that.
was it
I want
successful?
to, but she says, I'm not going to do this to them.
I can't. That's hilarious. Oh my God. You
She's
would
a
have scared the
firecracker.
life out of your kids. Just imagine seeing your location at a prison in the headquarters.
in California.
26 in California. What are you doing there? That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But they did that to
But
me.
they
They
did
put a
that.
360 on me.
I don't blame them, Hilda. You're very lovely, and somebody might just want to snatch you up. Just never know. You got to take care of you.
That's awesome. So, can you give me a memory with everything that you've done in your life, which seems to be amazing,
Yeah.
that sticks out to you, that you want people to remember you by?
I think it was the memory that sticks out a lot is the big fight. The big fight when we wanted to have a superintendent in the city of Chicago
Okay.
that was a Latino.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I was a member of the Hispanic Latino Enforcement Organization, and the board of directors was made up of law enforcement and civilians. So the task of the civilians was to do things that the law enforcement people could not touch. Okay? And so when we decided that we were going to run Matt Rodriguez as our candidate, of course, then I became the face of the campaign
Yeah.
because the law enforcement people should not be the face of that because you're bucking the people that,
Yeah.
give
The
you your
civilians.
paycheck.
Yep.
And so we were doing all this organizing because we had to do petitions, kind of, and we had to go to aldermanic what do you call them? Aldermen, and can you sign this? And we would get all sorts of them to prove to the system that he has the credentials. Wow. Again, we had to prove ourselves,
That's
right?
Crazy.
And so the first time around, he did not make it, but the second time around, we were able to get Matt Rodriguez appointed as the superintendent of the Chicago Police Department. And that meant so much because it was at that time that these organizations were just beginning to get their feet wet in terms of getting themselves organized in a different way in order to win, so that they could not be punished.
Yeah, basically.
Okay? And so they found the way was to do the civilian organizing on the side.
Yeah.
And that was a day that we were very proud of, to have. He passed about 6 months ago. But we were lucky that we had organizations like Puerto Rican Police Association, ILE. There were about 6 or 7. Even the Cook County Sheriff, Latinos, organized themselves.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was under his leadership, Yeah. A very quiet leader. And that's what he was like, And then my second was when we decided that we were going to have bilingual elections.
Amen.
And people were like, bilingual elections?
What is that?
Well, you know what?
I'm doing that too. I'm like, huh?
Well, everybody knows that Puerto Ricans, I believe everybody knows that Puerto Ricans are citizens by birth, right?
They should know by
They
now.
should
Make sure you
know.
echo that, though.
They should know that.
They should know that,
They
right?
should know that,
Yeah.
but you would be
Well-
surprised how many
well,
people
excuse
don't.
me.
Yeah.
Not everybody knew that back then.
Yeah.
So,
Or now.
Or
Yeah.
now, honestly.
So Puerto Ricans being citizens by birth, we noticed that Puerto Ricanos coming into the city didn't have the right to vote in their own language. They had to take the oath.
That's right.
They take the
English?
oath only in English. And we said, esto no va a suceder más.
Yeah.
So we got a bunch of attorneys, pro bono.
Okay.
We didn't have that much money.
Yeah.
And they represented us.
Look at
And
that.
we won in
Oh
court.
my gosh.
And I remember
Yeah.
the first thing, I was the person that had to look for the plaintiffs. So I found, I think it was 7 or 8 people
Wow.
that were willing
Yeah.
to say, I don't speak no English,
Yeah. They have to
but
go
I
on
will
the
go to
stand.
the court.
Yeah.
And they became our plaintiffs.
Wow.
Donnie Gonzalez, may she rest in peace, was one of our very first who went to the court.
Yeah.
But I was in the courtroom, and they swore me in. For the record, what is your name? Hilda Frontany. I said it right.
You said
See?
it right. I give it to you.
Yeah. Hilda Frontany. For the record, where do you live? Now everybody knows my address, right?
Oh, Lord.
And then following,
Yeah.
for the record, do you speak English? And I'm like, I thought I was speaking English all along. My friends who were in the audience, but I didn't do it to be funny because
Yeah.
that's how they treated us. So
Yeah.
you respond the way they treat you.
Exactly. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So that lawsuit, Casper versus the City of Chicago Latinos, that was started by PROPA, the Puerto Rican Political Organization. I give credit to Hector
Yeah.
And part of the settlement advertised in Spanish language, everything.
Yes.
So somebody else got.
That they
Yeah.
needed. You know.
So those were.
Very big ones, Hilda.
They deserve to be sued.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm on the road of wanting to start a massive lawsuit against the United States for emotional distress.
Yes.
So I got like 500 people on board already. So we just never know. Never know where we go with this. But lawsuits, I agree, Hilda. You just
So we're on the road to Washington.
let's go. Hey, let's go, Hilda. Now that I have you on here,
She knows how to organize.
you know how to organize.
I'll be the cheerleader on the bus.
Yes, please, because they have us so emotionally distressed right now. We can't even think, right?
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, that's so
So
powerful.
a lot of stuff about the city and
Yeah.
politics and whatnot. I want to know a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
About you. Okay. So the question was earlier, what do you want people to remember you by? Not the politics, you, the person, the human being.
That I am like an open book. That I have been like an open book. I have not hidden anything from anybody,
Yeah.
and that I have not taken anything from anybody.
Yeah.
That I've given everything that I had to everybody.
You sure have.
That's good.
You sure have, Hilda.
I love that as well.
I know. So touching.
So you have a birthday coming up.
Oh, that's right.
She has a birthday coming up.
82.
82 years old. Well, on this show, Alex, we usually give a little thing of adobo, and we tell people you have flavor. But today, I just want to say happy birthday.
Birthday, Hilda.
Wow, Hilda.
See, this is what I enjoy about life.
Yeah.
That I am getting my roses when I can smell them now, not when I'm in the coffin.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen, Hilda.
Amen.
We want to thank you so much for
very
what you've done for all of us.
Yes.
Thank you.
And you have big plans for your birthday. You do something. It sounds like you
Yes,
do something every year. For
Every
your birthday.
year I use my birthday to raise some money to send 35 children to summer camp.
Oh my gosh.
These children are individuals that would be home by themselves probably
Yeah, in the
during the
summer.
summer, not doing much or on the street. And
Yeah.
so we said, no, we need to provide entertainment for them, excitement for them, and a summer camp during the summer. And so there's 2 individuals right now. They're new at doing this with me, but
Okay.
I mean, they are flying with us. And it's Benita Santillanes
Okay.
and Madeline Figueroa.
Okay.
They themselves do a podcast. Both of them are comedians.
Hey.
And so they are doing a laugh-a-thon.
Oh my gosh.
And they
look
have
at
gotten big names too.
that. Yeah.
One of the people that are going to sing to me, and I just found out a secret.
Okay,
It was
okay.
supposed to be Luis Alfredo Correa. He's going to sing I Did It My Way because that's my song.
No way.
Yeah,
Hilda.
I did it my way
That
and not
is
your way. My
sick.
way.
Your way. Oh my god.
And then we have Petty Vasquez.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Betty Vasquez. And then we have Evelyn Cueto.
Hey.
You know Evelyn Cueto?
Got a new line. You got a good lineup. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's been taking over that stage with Michael Kendo and Joe Sanweed.
Shouts out to Mikey.
Yeah, shout out to Michael Kendo. And she's going to be part of the lineup and other surprises. I think that my son, who is a CTA bus operator,
right.
who used to do stand-up
That's right. Put some
comedy,
respect on that. Put some respect on
might
that.
go on stage and do something that day.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He might surprise you with a little something, huh?
No, I might surprise him.
You're flipping the table.
Will you be doing comedy?
Pardon me?
Will you be doing comedy that day?
Why?
Will you be doing comedy?
That day?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I will come out there with the Depends Ons and do some dancing for them. Who knows?
The comedy on its own. Yeah.
Right. That's awesome.
That is
So,
so-
Hilda, if you had a superpower, what would it be?
It would be to allow all the individuals who are being thrown out of this country to remain.
Oh,
That's beautiful.
Hilda, you make me cry.
No more family separation.
That's beautiful. Well, I want to thank you for being on the Flava Podcast. I want to thank you, Robert, for being
Yes,
also on the
sir.
Flava Podcast and just
Absolutely.
coming along
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
and making this connection for we could have her here because
Yeah.
she's important.
Very
Absolutely.
important. You're a pillar. A
And
pillar
you
of
could
the
see,
community.
you could see that just what she does, right? And just to share every year her birthday, to give back to the community,
Yeah.
to give back to program, to give back to these children. It's just incredible.
Because summer camp is not cheap. Let me say, summer camp is not cheap, and you guys are saving kids from being on the streets and doing things that they wouldn't be doing if they would, be somewhere else, somewhere safe. And summer camp is the best way. And then just thank you. This morning you've been up since 5:30,
Yes.
reuniting abuelos,
Yes,
abuelas with their families. Like
I
just-
didn't tell you about that, right?
A little bit. I heard a little bit. I came into the conversation.
Okay,
Yeah.
got a minute?
Yes, well, of course we got a minute for you.
Alright.
We got whatever you want.
Okay. There's an organization, Casa Celaya, and they invited me to help them with a program that it's called La Reunificación Familiar. And so I have heard about the program. I've gone to it through Casa Michoacana, where they bring elderly who have been separated from their sons and daughters and grandkids, and they have not seen them.
Yeah.
Some of them up to 26 years, like we found out today. And so then we asked them, yes, we will sponsor you. And so we got volunteers from the organization to get up at 5 in the morning and coordinate.
Yeah.
We got Sabroso Catering to do the coffee, the dulce, pan dulce, and everything. And then Luisa came and sang to them. And then there were 16 abuelitos that had not seen many of their children. And it was very emotional just to see that.
Yeah.
And now many of them are on the road back to California, to Minnesota, to Indiana, wherever.
Yeah.
They have 1 month that they can enjoy the family.
Wow.
And they can enjoy the grandkids here in the United States. But one of the things that came out of it is that there's going to be 70 of them coming later.
Yeah.
And so now we need to find a bigger place.
A bigger
where we
place.
can welcome 70 of them, because if there's 70 of them coming from Mexico,
Yeah.
that means maybe 3 family members come. So we're going to need
Yes.
a big place like Northeastern Illinois University
yes.
or Pavilion or something.
Yeah.
And we can make
Yeah.
it happen for
Yeah.
sure. And I'm sorry, I got a little
But
teary.
today, I mean, it was so emotional because we began introducing one by one to their family, and we began with the people who had not seen them in maybe 10 years, then 15. Then when it got to the 26th person who
Yeah.
had not seen family for 26 years, and this little girl went on the stage with
my
a
gosh.
sign that said, Abuelita.
Oh, look at that.
And then all of a sudden we have this Cook County commissioner sitting in front of them who had walked them all. And she was
That's crying.
you know, it was very emotional.
Extremely emotional.
Yeah.
My co-host is crying right now.
Well, the only reason I'm crying is because I mentioned it to Hilda earlier that my dad came to the United States when he was 17. And my dad never saw his parents alive again. Like, he went for my grandma's funeral. And I will never forget the day that my dad found out that his mom had passed. Like, that's forever engraved in my memory, because my dad has his mom in a pedestal. Like, that woman is everything to him. And when he found that she passed, he literally fell to his knees and he screamed. And I can't never forget that scream. And I told Hilda earlier, like, had a program like that been in place or even existed, my dad would have had a chance to see his mom again with life. And it's just beautiful to know that there's other people that are not going to feel that pain, right? Because there's programs that, because of people like you, they make it happen. And you guys, you're so empathetic to other people's pain, and you do so much to make it happen. So thank you so much for that, Hilda, and sharing it. And you've been up since 5 a.m. this morning, girl, and you're just so full of energy. And I'm blessed to be able to sit here and meet you and talk to you and hear your voice. And I'm just really inspired by everything that you've done and everything that you're accomplishing and still doing.
Well, Miss Influencer, you go out there and influence more people to do the same thing.
I definitely will, Hilda. I definitely will.
Go. So I believe some lunch here and some tips here, and I think you'll be on your way.
I definitely will. I'm going to definitely learn as much as I can from you.
And you can call me Hilda.
He's the one that calls you Hilda. I called you Hilda.
Throwing me under the bus.
He's the one that can't.
He's been knowing you for years. I got it right the
And
first
he
time.
calls me friend.
I'm wondering why the Hilda.
Thank you for making me feel comfortable and at home, and helping me share some of the information, and and hope that more people hear about reunificación familiar, and that they do reach out to us so that we can teach them the process by which to get those visas.
Exactly.
Because it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's a process, and people deserve to see abuelitos and abuelitas. People deserve to hold their grandparents. Like I can't say I remember what my grandma sounded like. I can't. The last time I saw her, I was 3. So I just, I don't have that. But to know that we can make it possible. You said that 70 abuelos might come for the next one.
Yes.
So we have to make it happen for more abuelos. Maybe next time it could be 130 and not 70.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Good interview, huh?
Yeah, good interview.
We're happy?
I love it. Very happy.
I think I'm very happy.
Yes.
I'm ecstatic with you. I love the history. I love to even dive even more. And if you haven't wrote a book yet, you should write a book. You should write a book.
Can I assist you with that? I would love to interview
Well,
you.
this is why every 2 months I look at my bio and I update it in case I kick the bucket. Everybody in case I kick the bucket, you can help write the book.
Oh, no. No. That's hilarious.
Write that book, even if it's an audiobook and in your voice. They need to hear your voice. So an audiobook, a regular book, but an audiobook as well, for they can hear your voice. I think it'll be amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I want to say thank you one more time for being on the Flava Podcast Network. Please come back.
Yes.
Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you, Rob.
You
Thank
betcha.
you,
Thanks for having us.
Roberto.
Roberto, in Spanish.
Roberto.
Roberto.
Oh, and thank you for
Thank you,
using your
Roberto.
airwaves to amplify Hilda's history and what she does in the community. So once again, I just want to plug in that she's having this comedy to raise funds for these young children, right?
Rob,
Under
say
summer
it to this camera right here.
All right. So once again, we're going to have, on June 13th is going to be a live comedy that Hilda's doing on her birthday to, once again, raise funds for these children to have an opportunity these summers, right, that they usually don't get. So once again, if we could share the link, share the information.
It'll be right
June
underneath
13th.
you.
All right. So click on the link. Just click on the link. and buy these tickets and make a difference in our community.
Yes.
And if they don't make the difference, then I will see them on Division Street at the Misa Hibara, and I will have the priest confess them all.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. We ended with that, right?
Okay. So this is your boy Los.
And Liz.
And remember, you have flavor.
Got flavor.